Hello everyone, Jared here, and in today's video, we're going on a safari to Kenya's Maasai Mara region in the southwest of the country for a 3-day, 2-night tour. First things first, I had to get up really early in the morning to get picked up by the tour company that I'd contacted for this trip. And along with the other people who were going on this tour, I was going to be stuck inside this Land Rover for what was supposed to be a 4 to 5 hour car ride. But that ended up being stretched a bit longer, for reasons that you'll see in a little bit. There was one point about an hour into the car ride where we all had a stretch break and were able to get out, go to the edge of the cliff, and look at the Great Rift Valley down below, which was where we'd be descending into to see all of the animals. And for those who are unfamiliar with Nairobi, it's rather high up in elevation. So the descent took a while. But it wasn't just because we were on a 2-lane mountain road, which would normally mean that you should probably drive slowly. It also had very little to do with the fact that we'd occasionally have baboons go across the road, causing us to stop for a bit. The real issue was that there was a really terrible traffic jam, which stalled us for about 2 hours. This was my first experience outside of Nairobi experiencing really bad traffic in Kenya. I'd asked the driver if this was something that was common for us on a tour, and he ended up saying that it's really rare for it to be this bad. Cars were backed up for miles and miles, and eventually, when we got all the way down, we were able to see what it was that caused this accident. Thankfully, once we got past that overturned vehicle, it was pretty much smooth sailing from there on, and we got to see the landscape change the further and further we went towards Maasai Mara. Now, one thing I want to bring up real quickly about this safari tour that I'm doing here is that it cost me $270 to go by myself on this tour, which, from after asking all the other passengers who were with me, turned out to be the cheapest price out of everybody. Apparently, most people find it for $400 to $500, heck, even $600 per person. But if you search carefully online, you can find it for as little as I did. So be really careful about the pricing when you're looking to get a safari tour if you're going to Maasai Mara in Kenya. Most of the ride to Maasai Mara was smooth sailing. However, the last stretch for about an hour or so was not paved whatsoever. And because of that, things got a little bumpy. And it was also pretty much impossible to listen to anything else other than the sound of the car driving over rocks on the road. Here's a little bit of what that seemed like. Headphone users beware. Wasn't that delightful? Anyways, once we finally arrived at our destination, we grabbed our things and made our way through the public dining area. It was here that we'd have all of our meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for the duration of the tour. But before we could eat, we needed to drop off our things first. So, each of us was escorted to our designated tents, which we'd be staying in for 2 nights. As you can see, each tent looks rather identical, so the way you can tell them apart is by the address, which happens to be an animal name in this instance. So this is the tent where I'm staying at, the zebra tent. From the back, looking towards the front, you can see that it was enough room for 3 people, but luckily for me, I was able to have this whole tent just to myself. And boy was I glad that I had the mosquito netting for when I went to bed. I got bit a lot out here. Right behind me, in here, is where the bathroom is. Let's check that one out too. I'm feeling a little nervous. Okay, at least I know I have a sink and a mirror. Behind here, behind the curtain, there's the towels, shower area, okay, and a stone floor that's wet, and there's the toilet. That's a really tiny toilet. And toilet paper, good, because I didn't need to bring any. So apparently the only power outlet in this entire tent is in the wall that is right here behind the curtain. So I have to keep that open at all times if I want to be able to have something plugged in there. Well, they're preparing lunch for us, so let's go ahead and check it out. First things first, what I've got to say about this place is that the food overall leaves a little bit to be desired. And since I'd just gone to carnivore right before coming here, I really was not in the mood for having any more meat this day. Luckily, however, having some rice, pasta, and salad was enough to fill me up for a while until dinner time. Now that everyone's finished lunch, a very late one, we're gonna go ahead and have our first safari. So here we go. Let's go ahead, get back in that vehicle, and go see some animals. Well, that's it for our first safari in night 1. Only 2 hours here and we have the full day tomorrow. And after all that excitement from the day, I was really tired and couldn't wait to go back to my tent, drop off my equipment, and grab some dinner. One thing before I forget to mention it is that the showers only have water for 1 hour in the morning and in the evening, and if you miss that 1 hour period, then you're not going to be able to shower, which is unfortunately what happened to me. So if you do end up coming here, pay close attention to what the time is so you don't miss that shower time. Anyways, I went back to that public dining area, had my dinner, and then on my way back to the tent, I noticed that there were some Maasai tribesmen setting up a fire right outside. So I decided to stop and film for a bit. And just watching this fire being made was a nice way to really end my first night in Maasai Mara. I hope you've enjoyed this first video on my safari tour and that you come back for the next one, since the next one is where all the real action is, with animals closer than ever before, as well as many others that you haven't seen yet. I hope you're looking forward to it. Until next time. Thank you again for watching this video. If you liked it, please click the subscribe button down below and give the video a thumbs up. Also, please share this video as well as others from my channel to help this channel grow.